Hi folks, and welcome to another Bandlab Bit. Today we're going to focus on effects, and especially today we are looking at the world of reverb. So we can define reverb as the interaction of sound waves with physical spaces that continue to sound after the sound producer stops making sounds. Or, quickly, a sound that remains in the room after the original sound stops. So let's get started. I have here a little instrumental track that we're going to take a look at and use for applying reverb effects to. So let's access our effects. If you go down to the lower left, you'll hit the effects button and get our workspace. So first up is the track reverb, and this just gives the listener a certain sense of space. The higher up you put it, the bigger the space, the more reflections and diffusion sounds you get within the track itself. Now this is great for trying out reverb on a track to see if you want to use another reverb and maybe get more into the fine tuning of it. Next up we have the workspace. Now here you can add multiple effects. So we're going to add the third reverb that we have, and you're going to have all three reverbs. You can turn each one on and off and apply the effects in a daisy chain manner. So let's work with the easiest one to work with, which is the spring reverb, and you can just turn it up to apply more of the effect and increase the intensity, and then you have only the selector switch between the American and the UK one. Now between the two of them, the American's got a little brighter in sound, while the UK one is a little warmer in sound. Now spring reverb is a great starting point for reverb. You can add it to snares, you can add it to vocals, you can add a little more grit to guitar just by using it. So it's a great place to start with it. Now next up is the studio reverb. Now this has a couple more controls, and the first one you're going to see is the mix control. So the mix dial sets how much of the original mix you hear or how much of the modified mix you hear of the effect. From there we have color, which kind of affects a range of frequencies with the reverb, pot left or right to affect the frequencies from low to high. And then finally we have the size, which adjusts the room size for where all your sounds are bouncing around in the digital world. Left is a small room, and as you pot it to the right, the room will get larger and your reverb time increase. And let's hop over to the last one, the Spacemaker. Now Spacemaker is great because it has some of the same controls. We have mix, which is same as studio reverb. It sets the ratio of the original sound versus the affected sound. Then we have the width, which opens up the space of where you hear the sound. The smaller the width, the more reverb feels in a tight space and it doesn't diffuse much. The wider we set it, the more the sound breaks up. Next we have our room size, which same thing as before. It's left for small rooms, pot right to hear the larger room size, and the longer the decay of the reverb will be. And then finally there's dampening, which will focus the reverb on that particular frequency of sound and will change how your room sounds. So let's mess around a little bit and you can kind of hear the differences in sound as I adjust each of the pots. Alright, let's demonstrate daisy chaining. So I'm going to turn on my reverb, my spring reverb, to add to my mix. Now, it works like this. You're going to go from right to left. So the first effect will give you a sound that'll send it out to the next effect to the right. So each one takes the audio from the last one and alters it more. And the nice thing is you can turn effects on and off as you go and change your daisy chain pretty quickly. Okay, since we've taken a look at how it works on drums, let's take a look at instrument right here. I'm going to turn on Spacemaker, and we're going to talk a little bit about the presets that you can use. So within the presets, there are 9 different presets you can go from. There's basic, and then it works its way through several different sizes of rooms. And nice thing is you can just click on them, turn them on, and take a listen to them and make a decision about, hey, this is exactly what I want, or let me tweak some of the parameters of it as we go along. So let's talk about one last thing. These are all effects. They don't harm your track in any way, shape, or form. You can turn them on, them off. You can mess around with them. I am a big fan of playing around with effects while I listen to the whole mix, so I can kind of make tweaks and adjustments. And so always remember, this is all about experimentation and finding the sounds that are most appealing to your ears with the reverb. So with that, do experiment. Take a listen, hear how different things sound, adjust parameters as you go. Other thing is to take a look at the internet, find resources of people who mix regularly, professional engineers. You're going to find a wealth of collective knowledge that can help make your use of effects better for what you're doing and the sounds you're looking for. So with that, let's take a look. We've talked about reverb, we talked about track reverb, we've talked about the studio reverb, the spring reverb, and then finally the Spacemaker. And so we come to the close of another Bandlab Bit. I hope you find the information as a solid starting point and use it to expand your creative experiences in Bandlab. Good luck with your artistry, and I will see you soon.